Hello there, how are you doing? Now in this video you're going to learn about promises. Now before we dive into promises, let's go through the regular Ajax operation. Okay, so this is a simple callback with Ajax. We create this is using the vanilla JavaScript window.onload. So using this method, we make an Ajax request and we use the callback function to console log the data. So if it is a single Ajax call, it's pretty simple, no problem with that. However, if you have heard about callback hell, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so what we're trying to do here is first we try to make one Ajax request, and if that is successful, then we would like to make another Ajax request. So based on that, so if it is successful, we go and make another request, and if that is successful, then again we go and make another request. So when we have to chain such requests, and then we have to error handle, and it becomes really messy. That's why it is called callback hell. So to avoid such callback hell, we have there is something called promises. What promises is just an object, okay, that represents action that has not been finished yet but will do sometime in future. So it is essentially a placeholder for the result of a synchronous operation such as this Ajax call. Okay, so as soon as we make an asynchronous request, it returns a promise object even before the data is received. For example, when we make a request, it takes some time to get the data, right? So but before we get the data, it creates this promise object. So within that promise object, we can register callbacks that will run when the request completes. Okay, so basically we use these promises using a then and catch. So then to chain the request, okay, once you make the request, even before it completes, you can add dot then method to do certain tasks, and to catch the error you can simply use catch method. Okay, so let's see in action. So for example, making this simple Ajax request using promise is get this URL. Okay, so it's a get this URL, and then this promise you can chain whenever you see a such code using then and catch. That means you understand that it is promise. And jQuery by default it supports promise. Okay, so we can use this in jQuery as well. So promise dot then, we make a promise and then we chain dot then and callback function data, and we console log the data, and if there is error, dot catch error. Simple. Now this is a quite simple example, just one Ajax call. But what happens if you have to make multiple Ajax call? Okay, this is not that difficult either. So continuation of the code above. Before we had that callback hell, but if you use promise, this gets very much simplified. So we create a promise, which is a get request, and then what we do is we chain with the dot then method. Dot then we make a call, then we console log data or whatever we want to do, and then we want to return another callback. Another Ajax request. So first we wanted to get all the JavaScript queries. Okay, so the search query based on JavaScript. This was the request, Ajax request first, and upon its success, we make another request. We return this one. We return another get request. Now, then again we return, once we get this HTML, we again make another request to get all the source queries based on CSS. So this is how we chained one after another request, okay, using dot then, and finally we use single catch method that will console log all the errors. So anytime if there is if it encounter error here or here, doesn't matter, this catch function will return the error. So this is how we can make we can avoid callback hell, and this multiple Ajax request gets simplified using promises. So basically the lesson of this the main takeaway of this lesson is you can use then and you can use catch, and you can use these methods on jQuery Ajax, the getJSON method as well. Okay, so this is how you can use promises to make Ajax calls simplified and more manageable. It is better understood once we apply it in practice. So in one of the projects that we're going to build, we will implement this feature. All right, so this is pretty much it. So I'll see you in future. Thank you very much. Bye.